Hi, everyone. We're the Rebel Crows with your host, Athena Silver.
Hi, I'm Anja River.
Tonight, we are talking about the Jungian archetypes found in tarot. We're going to be highlighting the Major Arcana and the theories behind the archetypes. Aren't you excited?
Yep. So archetypes are universal patterns and images that are within our collective unconscious. So they're born within us. So we're going to break down the tarot, a few of the cards, and explain just how the archetypes show up in the cards.
Well, we hope you guys get into it with us and enjoy it tonight, and stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're going to get right into our topic tonight, talking about the Jungian archetypes. Now, these are archetypes that are found everywhere, relationship-wise, from us. It's how we view the world, how the world views us, how we feel about certain aspects of ourselves. We're paring it down tonight and really focusing on 4 key archetypes. The first one is the self. That is the real soul identity, the deepest, corest part of us that makes us who we are. The second one is the persona. Now, that's how we want to be viewed, how people view us, our personality side, and our traits. Typically, when we think of like birth chart information, what we're seeing there is they're actually personality types. So a little bit of connection there. Then we're going to talk about the shadow side, which is the unconscious, darker aspects of ourselves, the more animistic sides of ourselves, and the deeper, soul aspects. Then lastly, we're going to talk about the anima and the animus archetype, which talks about it's the female energy and the male energy. And, we all carry both yin and yang, both the male and the female aspects of ourselves. It's not really talking about gender. It's talking about our constructs that we have in our society that, dictate gender, so certain things are viewed as something a woman would do, other things are viewed as what a man would do. Well, we carry both sides of that within ourselves. So some of these cards are going to address those sides of it as well. Why don't you start us off, Anja?
Sure, I'd love to. So my first card is the tarot card. Now, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, but it denotes a strong shadow element, and this can be scary for a lot of people. When I think about the shadow, I think about repressed, unacknowledged desires and streams of action. And when you think about this card, when you look at this card, this is a building that's built on shaky ground, so this was something that was definitely not anticipated, that this was going to come out in this chaotic way, and that's exactly what happens when we don't address our shadow side. We act without understanding what's going on inside of us. We're acting and building things based on repressed feelings and desires, and that can lead to situations where you're really taken aback. So it's a good reminder to work on your shadow and really go deep into yourself and try to figure out what it is that is driving you.
All right. So my first card is the High Priestess card. Now, with this card, it symbolizes sacred wisdom and our connection deep on our soul level. This is also a shadow card, so it's talking about really deep emotional, soul, vibrational stuff. This one really has to do about our connection with the universe and our connection between all aspects of ourselves. You see that she's between the two pillars, the black pillar and the white pillar, which has to do with, the shadow aspect and the consciousness aspect. And this veil, behind her, is closing all of the unseen sides of herself. So it's keeping her in a way where she's about to embark on this, sacred wisdom gathering journey, but she's kind of in the middle of it all. So she's preparing for the journey, but she's not yet walking it. Mm-hmm. So, that to me really stands out for when we're stagnant in life, or when we're about to go into a rapid cycle. If you're not dealing with all aspects of yourself, you're not truly living in knowledge.
Nice. Beautifully said. So yeah, so my next card is the Hierophant.
I love that card.
Yeah, and this card to me represents persona. I don't know if it would for you as well, but when I think about persona, this is the mask, and this isn't to say that this is not a genuine spirituality. Like this is definitely a genuine spirituality and a genuine leader. But what it's about is, the idea of spirituality coming from above through you and then out into the world. And in order for this character, I'm referring to him as, it's not disrespect. I'm just saying, like, from this angle, this character is, has to play a role in the development of the people who are coming after him. I
also see it as a mark of like community and society and tradition. When we inherit traditions from our family, it gets disseminated outwardly from us as well. So it's like keeping everybody in place in a societal construct.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I definitely see that too. So that was my take on it. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to add besides that.
Well, I think it's kind of like the moral side of yourself. You want other people to see the good in you, so you play by the rules.
So do you think this could be a self card as well? So this is kind of like it's encompassing a few different areas.
Yeah. I think it could be a self card, but I see it more as a persona card because it's the face that you're showing outwardly to society and to your community. Yeah. So it also, there's a little bit of pinch of denial in there too. That's just my take, All right, so here's another one of my favorite cards in the tarot, the Lover's card. It's two people, very nude, sharing some fruit, and the angel, divine being above it. This card represents the union. So this is an animus card because it's not just talking about, the feminine and masculine dynamic. It's talking about them as a unit as well. Mm-hmm. It's bringing together really of all sides of yourself again. Just like with the sacred wisdom of the High Priestess, this is bringing together the yin and the yang. This is bringing together those two opposing sides of ourselves and, essentially having them hold hands, bringing them in, into a place where you're not acting out of one side of your brain versus the other. You are taking both sides and making a direct step forward. Mm-hmm. So,
yep, I see it the same way.
You want to add? You see?
No,
anything?
I see it exactly the same way. And funny enough, my next card is the Chariot, and the Chariot also, I see it as an animus card, and it's for similar reasons because this is, yes, it's a chariot with three independent beings, but really what it is it's a unit. It's a unit, and in order to move forward, these the conscious and the unconscious have to be united in order to move forward in one direction. And so this is an incorporated shadow. This is an incorporated, this is the conscious and the unconscious being united to move forward.
It's interesting.
I'll leave it at that.
if you notice on that card, if you could put it up one more time, the two sphinxes, one's black and one's white, just like the
in the lovers.
Sphinx. Yep, just like the high priestess.
In the high priestess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the Thoth deck. In the lovers card in the Thoth deck, there's a dark skinned person and a light skinned person. So
okay. All right, but this one definitely, it's wrangling those two sides. So it's interesting. I like how we all see different things, but a lot of similar things, so it really with the archetypes is universal. You can apply these archetypes really to anything.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all already know what time it is. My card. I have to bring it up. Of course, this card to me, of course I'm going to talk about this card a whole bunch of time. Every time we do tarot, you better sit back and you better like it. I'm doing it for me. To me, this card is definitely a shadow card. It represents transformation. It represents the intention of integrating both sides together. So you've done all this shadow work. You learned about yourself. You put it together with what you already knew about yourself. This is the card that's bringing you to wholeness. This is the card that represents that transformation that you go through from being ignorant to being wise. If you didn't have the Chariot card, if you didn't have, death, you would not be whole, because that action, that verb is missing. This is the verb,
Yeah.
This is a transformation process, putting things, killing things off in your side of yourself, letting things go, releasing them, and starting to attract and pull in new things in order to really find, integration and wholeness.
Isn't it funny how your favorite card's the death card and one of my favorites is the Tower?
Yeah. We thrive in hectic situations.
I think you just, you get used to it, and then you have to rise above, whatever gets thrown your way. So
yeah.
My other favorite card is the Star card, and that's my next card. And the Star card comes right after the Tower. And the way that I see this is a self card. And the reason why is because after all of the drama of the Tower being stripped away, you are left with this beautiful, pure soul card. I kind of almost think of this as like the afterlife, like, when the body is stripped away and you're just left with, that soul that's been around for eons and eons and eons. And, it's very beautiful, and it's very stripped bare, and without all of the charade of and drama of life, so this is like the self at its purest form.
Yeah, I see a lot of hope in there too. Like wanting to change, because it's one thing to get forced into change. It's another thing when you're seeking it, and you're opening yourself up for that change. So that's a beautiful card.
Yeah, so, it depends on it depends on how you read it, but I just see it like in its purest form, like without being attached to a person or situation. I see it as just like pure, like just pure soul.
Yeah, I agree with
just
you.
Peace, and that, and it comes right after the Tower, after you're stripping away all this stuff that doesn't belong.
Hey, so my last card is the Magician. So you're seeing somebody here, this is a persona card as well, because it deals with how we view ourselves and how we make the world around us work. It's about manifestation. It's about changing and channeling divine creative energies and, setting that things up to happen. This is really one of the marks of people who really understand how the universe works. Now, this person here has done so much soul work, so much healing work, and now that they've seen and gained all the wisdom, they're able to use all that they learned and set things up in such a way that they're able to create opportunities, create change, create. They're here to change things and really, make the world a better place, take things that were bad and find better solutions and apply them. So this is like a very resourceful person. It's somebody who's not going to lie down and take the situation. They're going to get up and do something about it.
They're the alchemists.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the fire signs, probably.
I feel like they're witches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they're magicians, so obviously, right? Yeah. So my next card is the Hanged Man. And I also see this as a self card. I have a lot of, I looked at, I'm attracted to a lot of self cards. And I think there's a lot of them in the Major Arcana. But this really calls to me because sometimes you'll see this as someone who is being like punished, or someone who is being, who's in a meditation, or, there's a feeling of, perhaps are we trapped here? But he's not. This person is not. This person is experiencing an enlightenment and seeing things in a different state, and almost feels like I can see a lot of correlations about, things, maybe current events that are going on today, and a lot of people getting caught up in the feelings of everything that's going on, and, and it's sort of this message to kind of turn it around and look at it in a different light, and really like kind of center yourself and calm and sit in your wisdom. Like there's a real need for that right now, to sit in your wisdom and sit in your sacred garden.
I see that card a little bit differently. I see it as the need to release, that you're being held back in a certain situation, and in order to get to the next place that you need to be, or the next understanding that you need to gain, you've got to release the situation that you're in, because like you said, you're stuck, you might be putting yourself there, but you've got to let go of that in order to move on, and order to walk the journey itself. So
I think that's a valid interpretation of this card as well. I think I'm drawn more to my version.
Well, the tarot's wonderful like that. We all assign our own intuitive, connections to it. It's really, truly what you see in it is what you get out of it. So
and what
I'm
you
not
feel
surprised.
from it. What you feel from it. Because sometimes, like when you're reading for a client, you could feel something totally different from a card that you normally read different for yourself. So, and that's definitely happened.
So we want to know what cards you guys are drawn to on an archetypal sense. What card speaks to you and why. Make sure you guys comment below and share and tag a friend who gets down with the archetypes like we do. I'm Athena Silver. I'm a professional psychic medium and tarot reader. If you want to have a reading with me, my website is readingswithathenasilver.com. My Instagram is athena.silver. My Facebook is Readings with Athena Silver. And my TikTok is Athena_silver. How do they reach you, Anja?
I am on Facebook and Instagram at Anja River, ANJARIVER. And you can reach out to me if you'd like a tarot reading.
All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next Thursday. Have a wonderful week and have a great night. Bye.
Bye.